Okay, so let's talk about the sports reporter dream, because this is a dream that you had. You really didn't have a plan. Now you're in New York City. What was the first thing you needed to do?
First thing I did was the very next day, I went around and handed my resume to restaurants because I'm like, I need to, let's handle rent.
Right.
And I found a job that day and started working the following day. It was an immediate thing. And once that happened, and I knew that I had income coming in, then I started making calls. I called every single TV station, every agent, every newspaper, everything you could possibly imagine in like the New York metro, even places like outside of the city that did not have public transportation that went there, which didn't make any sense because I didn't have a car. So I don't know how I thought I was going to get there, but I called, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of places, left messages, wrote letters, sent emails, went knocking. Man. And I don't even know if this would work anymore because everything is so, digitalized.
Digital, yeah.
Ended up meeting on one of those calls. I kept calling this agency and they represented Mike and Mike. And I kept calling different people. And there was a gentleman there, Brian Jacobs, who I kept calling and I would leave voicemails. And on one day that I called, he answered. And he was like, "Are you the person that keeps calling me?" It's like, "Sure am." And he thought it was really funny. He was like, "I can't and I'm like, I just need 5 minutes of your time. If you can just give me 5 minutes." And he was like, "All right." And he gave me an appointment and I went up to Midtown in this fancy building, dressed like I thought a sports reporter would dress, and had a 5-minute meeting with him. And he's like, "All right, well, how can I help you?" And I told him, "Well, I want to be a sports reporter." And he's like, "Well, let me see your reel."
Yeah.
"Well, I don't have one."
That's my next question.
What is that?
"Well, what sort of experience do you have?" "Well, I don't have any." "Do you have at least like a college reel or something that were you like a couple of?" "No, I didn't do this in college." "All right." "Well," and I was like, "But I promise you, if you represent me, one day it'll be worth it." And he's like, "I can't represent you because I can't get you a job because you don't have any experience." And, credit to him because he just thought I was, this precocious, strange person, both of which are true.
Yes.
And he gave me some advice and he's like, I think that you should, really work on getting experience, getting, on-camera experience. It's probably tough. Maybe start behind the camera and figure out, work your way in that way. And then when you're there, you can, kind of see it how people do. And he said, and I will never forget, he said that most, on-camera talents or reporters, whatever the case may be, don't have the behind-the-scenes experience. And it's like, it helps. You see things from a different perspective when you were a producer and you see how things are done. And obviously nobody was handing me a job. So that's kind of what I did, was go the back route. And he actually is my agent.
Now, Brian,
wow.
Really, today?
Brian helped me all along. The moment I kept in touch with him, he gave me advice when I got my first job writing. I let him know and he was like, "Great, Liz, keep it up." Just a wonderful human being. And when I got to ESPN, I was like, "Guess what?" And he's like, "That's awesome." Kind of celebrated me all the way. And when I got...
No, we can't. Okay, so right there. So you leave Brian. How do you end up at ESPN? And was ESPN the first place you wrote to?
Hold on. Before we get to that, sorry, not to interrupt. I don't want to skate past what you did to get in front of Brian. Because, Darren,
that is true.
How many people do we talk to? "Oh, I called twice and nobody answered." And I guess it's just not for me.
Hung up. Yeah. This no that was it. They heard no and that was it.
That's it. We just fold back. But the fact that you were so relentless, that's incredible. And I don't want anybody to miss that because what you just said is pure gold.
Yeah.
For if you want something, you got to be relentless for it. And I love that. So kudos to you. That's awesome.
If you don't feel like you're the most annoying person in the world, you're not doing it right.